Hi everybody, welcome to another day of lockdown and another one in the Love Amplified series. So yesterday I came across a posting on my Facebook thread and it began with the words, "Hello inmates." And I must say this morning I woke up feeling like an inmate. I felt quite imprisoned, quite restricted, confined, claustrophobic even. And it got to me for a short time. I pulled myself together, I did a meditation and kind of shifted that perspective. But it got me thinking, how free do you feel with all of this confinement that is happening right now? And I started thinking about a movie called Hurricane from a couple of years ago. And it was the true story, based on the true story of the boxer, Reuben Hurricane Carter. It was played by Denzel Washington, where he is falsely accused of murder and thrown into prison. He spends about 15 years in prison. He's eventually released, but while in prison, when he arrives at prison, there's a scene where he tells his warden and the guards that he's not a prisoner. He will not be treated like a prisoner. He will not follow their rules, and he will remain a free man while confined in the prison. And it got me thinking about, how do I remain free while confined in this prison called lockdown? Yes, it's only been about a week or so, but it is not something I'm used to, and I'm sure you're not used to it as well. I'd love to be out there, enjoying nature, especially on a Sunday, going for a drive with my family. And it got me thinking about what would I do post-lockdown. I'm sure a lot of you are starting to think about that, and are you going to do things differently? I remember when I used to climb mountains, and while sitting on a mountain after a number of days and being in a very uncomfortable place in terms of cold and snow and that type of thing, you start to dream of things you're going to do once you get off the mountain. Simple things like that first milkshake or that first shower. Yeah, that's a big one. And what it's going to be like, and you start to savor it while you're sitting in those conditions on the mountain. So I've been kind of wondering, what am I going to do post-lockdown? Is it going to be any different from what I was doing pre-lockdown? And I often see this phenomenon when somebody dies, and people around often talk about, life is short. I should do things differently. I shouldn't sweat the small stuff and that type of thing. And maybe for a while people change, but for most, they don't get the lesson that death teaches us, and that is to save a life, to hold life as sacred and to be in it fully. And we make these promises, we never follow through on them. So what promises are you going to are you making, and are you going to follow through on it post-lockdown? Second aspect is, how do I be free while being confined? Because as I think the movie shows us, that freedom is a state of mind. And you can be confined in a prison or in your home, but still have a consciousness of freedom, an attitude of freedom. And how do you cultivate that? How do you remain free while being confined? Because if you are able to maintain a sense of freedom in these aspects, you can take that with you no matter where you go. You can take that into all aspects of your life to become an expression of this thing called freedom, which is such a sacred thing for all of us. And that's what I want to leave you with. I want to leave you with that idea of, how do you express being free? How do you not allow yourself these current circumstances to confine you. And one of the ways is stop allowing social media news to dictate what you think and as a result what you feel. Because whether there's an agenda out there or not, I don't know. But all of it, the media is shaped towards controlling what we think and what we feel. And that to me is truly being imprisoned. That to me is confinement of the highest order, where something outside of me has control over what I think and what I feel. And I want to invite you to be aware of that. Don't allow these forces that are at play, to dictate to you your way of being. You get to choose. So this morning I woke up in a funk and I stayed there for a little while, and then I pulled myself out of it. I decided I don't want to be this way, and I started to do things about that. So what can you do to pull yourself out of whatever it is that you're feeling and take you to a more positive place? And I want to leave you with a quote by a German philosopher, Wolfgang Goethe, and he said, "None are more hopelessly enslaved than those who falsely believe they are free." Sit with that for a while. Good. Thank you, and keep tuning in, keep leaving comments, and I'll check in with you again tomorrow. Remember, freedom is a way of being. It's a state of mind. It is a consciousness. Be free.